Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining me for this tarot read. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. I'll remind you guys that this is going to be another general read, so it might resonate with you, but it might not too. That's just fine. You'll know if the message is for you because it's just going to feel right. Also, we are going to draw a tarot token at the end of this read. Land the land. Okay, I do have this distinct impression from this lost compass. This is like, it's like I know somebody has lost their way, but they don't know they've lost their way. Like somebody thinks that the path that they're on or the choices that they're making are the right ones, but I feel like there is a need to sort of take a second look at what's going on in their life, at the choices that they're making. We're going to grab some more because I want to know more of what this is all about. Somebody thinks, see, this is part of what they're doing too, this overflow. Somebody feels like they're doing something very, very great, or like they have great skills. I get pulled back to the farther gate. This is tying into the spiritual realm and what somebody's doing. I do get pulled back to lay of the land, ancestral wisdom. Somebody feels like they come from a long line of, I don't know if it's spiritual healers. I don't get like a healing vibe from this person. I get like a more sort of like a more negative vibe from this person. So I don't feel like their intentions are to spiritually heal other people or to bring like positivity and love and light to other people's lives. There's something here. This is more like them for personal gain, trying to bring like a monetary abundance. It's like greed. It's like greed, but then they also sort of take it out on like other people around them. Like they abuse whatever this is. And it's funny because I don't feel like this person actually has like psychic skills. I have this deep impression that they believe they have psychic skills. They believe that they are connected to like this long line of ancestors who were great like priests or priestesses or something of that sort. And it's like they feel like they have these powers, but I see in these cards and I feel like this disconnect. They don't actually exist. They don't, like, they're very misguided. I feel like this is extremely misguided, and this is why we had this compass card come forward. This person is extremely misguided in not only their beliefs of sort of where they come from and what they're capable of, but also the way that they're using them as well. Crossing. I feel like they actually try and connect with spirit or connect with like something on the other side of the veil. This is part of the spirituality that they're in. And I don't feel like this is something sort of run of the mill. I don't even feel like this is really like even tarot. I feel like this kind of goes farther beyond tarot too. Like it's, oh, I'm going to say it. I was going to say it. I'm going to come out. This person feels like they can do spells and put hexes on people. I know we all have different spiritual beliefs. I make an extreme point of not trying to shit on anybody's beliefs because spirituality is an extremely individual journey for each and every one of us. So I don't feel like I have any right to judge anybody else on their beliefs. This person believes that they have the power to put hexes and spells on other people. They believe that they have some sort of otherworldly gifts. They believe that they come from a long line of ancestors who also have otherworldly gifts. They really don't have these gifts though. I feel like this extreme disconnect in the cards, like it's all in their mind, it's all in their belief, it doesn't actually exist. And I do feel like they try to target other people who they believe have wronged them or who have slighted them or pissed them off in some way. It's like they try to put like curses on people. They try to put curses on people. We're gonna grab a few more cards. It's like this person is, in this moon maiden, I just feel like lost. I also feel like it's like lost in their own mind, like imagination, like these things that they do, these spells, hexes, curses, whatever the fuck they want to call them. This is like things that they have completely conjured in their mind and probably in part from crap they read on the internet. It's not a real skill that they've learned. They haven't truly investigated it. They don't really have a sort of like this deep ability to tap into things. They just sort of play around with stuff and sort of make it up as they go. But to them, it's 100% real. To them, it's like it really happens. It's like if someone they worked with, they told a joke at work and Barbara didn't laugh at their joke, they would be pissed off. They'd be like, Barbara's got a target on her back now. They'd go home and they'd work some sort of little funky whatever on Barbara. I don't know if they'd make some little figurine to hide at her desk, or some sort of like little oil or something to put on whatever. The next day, they would go and do that to that person. They would go sort of tamper with their stuff to put their little hex on. I also see that they truly believe that what they do works, and like any little thing sort of validates that. So then if that day like Barbara spilt her coffee, they'd be like, oh, there, my hex worked. There, it worked. It's like a skewed perception. It's like this skewed perception of reality. Keep quiet. I get a funky vibe from this one over here that does not jive with everything that I've been feeling so far. So I feel like this person does not have psychic abilities at all. This person does not come from a long line of ancestors who have psychic abilities. This is part of their delusion. This is part of what's sort of in their head and what they've come to believe for themselves. I don't feel like any of the things that they do follow any kind of teachings in terms of, I don't know, voodoo, Wiccan, whatever. It doesn't follow that. This is just stuff that they've come up with themselves. And then I get pulled to this card here. There is something within this card that is otherworldly. It is otherworldly, and it's like it's come forward. I'm not sure, because they've opened a door. Oh shit. So something they did actually quasi worked. I don't think they realized that it worked. I don't think it worked in the way that they intended, but I think they let something into their world. Something that's been, I guess like something that's been like dormant for a long time. Something that's been dormant. Something that I believe if this person got educated about, they never would have dabbled with to begin with. I think it's something that anybody who's knowledgeable about it knows, because I do feel like this thing has a history, whatever this thing is, and I'm not entirely sure what culture it comes from, but whatever it does come from, those people know that this is something you don't mess with. This is something that you sort of leave on the other side. You don't tamper with it. You don't ask it for nothing, because oh, that would make a lot of sense. Whatever this thing is, it's like a trickster. It like turns things around on you. It turns things around on you. Because this person they want to punish other people. This person likes to use whatever this is that they believe they have, these types of powers, to try and punish other people around them. To try and cause trouble in other people's lives. To try and, for lack of a better word, like smite other people. This is their jam. This is what they're all about. There's somebody who definitely has a lot of toxic negative energy, and it is the kind of person who this kind of thing would be attracted to. I do feel like something that they did opened the door, but their intention was to do something that was going to negatively affect somebody else. This was like one of their spells, their hexes, their curses that they were trying to put on somebody else. And the thing that they let in is something that actually attaches to the person who lets it in and punishes the person who lets it in. It reminds me of like a leprechaun or like a really bad genie, who will like screw your wish around to like hoop you. Like you wish for something and then they turn it into something completely different and negative and flip it on you. This is what it reminds me of. I see that in the jeweled web. I see that in the me talks. It brings toxicity into your life. It spins your shit around on you. Like this person has got themselves caught up in their own web that they were trying to set for somebody else. This repairing the veil. This is like they shouldn't have tampered with whatever this was. Whatever this was existing on the other side of the veil for a reason. I do feel like it was actually specifically put there by other people in the past. And this is like very far past, long time ago. This thing was loose. It caused havoc, but it was at a time when people very much believed in these things. It was accepted. It was understood what it was. And so it was then contained and dealt with. This person, because they have no knowledge of what they're actually doing, they let this thing loose. They brought it in to their life from wherever the hell it was. They were like almost like a will-o'-the-wisp. They were like sort of like this beacon for it. This is how this thing got loose. It saw them. It saw them in the darkness and it came towards them. I say, guys, too, this is not, whatever this thing is, I do not feel like this is some big, crazy, major demon thing that would, like murder you in your sleep. This thing feels extremely mischievous and like it makes trouble. That's what I get from this thing. It's almost, that's why I felt like trickster. So this thing is like, it's not gonna climb into you and possess you or do crazy shit like that. But it is gonna mess with your life. It's gonna wreak havoc in small ways. I want to grab another card before we get going with the Gilded Tarot to find out more about what this is. This person opened up a can of worms, I can tell you that. Yeah, right use of power. This person could have used this card before they started monkeying with whatever this was. This is like, if you want to do these things, like make sure you are not only educated, but your intentions are pure. This person's intentions are not pure. This person has very dark intentions. And they created a bridge to something, for something to come through that really shouldn't be there. Like this opening. They created this opening. They made this connection that they shouldn't have made. I'm gonna grab, we had a whole bunch of cards, big stack on it to pop out. I don't know if this is like, I don't feel like a romance behind this, so I don't know if this is somebody who someone was romantically involved with. I feel like this person does not have a lot of people around them too. I get pulled back to the root girl, the disowned self. I feel like this person lives sort of a very solitary life. Like they live alone. I don't know that they have a whole lot of friends. This person sort of really keeps to themselves. You feel like they're hanging on they hang on to grudges. Like they hang on to something from the past. They are this Five of Cups. This Five of Cups represents dwelling. This is like any little thing that they think someone did to them to wrong them. It's like they remember this. They remember this and then they try and do something against this person. Instead of like, confronting someone like, you got a problem with me, let's sort it out. Or just getting the fuck over it and moving on because someone's opinion really isn't that important. They like dwell on this shit. Like it consumes their mind until they get really, really angry. They start coming up with all these different ways. I do feel like this whole getting into this side of things, this whole persona that they have taken on was actually born of that. It was born of feeling wronged by other people in their life. And it was like their way of gaining a sense of power because they felt very powerless. This was part of where all of this came from. Lovers. So they'll do this to exes. Like if people leave them, if they have bad dates, whatever, they'll do that. I just keep feeling like the cards are almost like coming to me like backwards. It's weird. It's like I'm trying to get these messages and usually when I lay my cards down one at a time, they all kind of line up and they all tell a story together, but I feel like they're jumbled. I feel like they're backwards. I feel like they're in some way that they don't belong and everything gets twisted. This is directly connected to this thing they'd let into their life. This thing is going to twist shit in their life. It's actually going to twist what they're doing too. This is part of its trickster sort of mentality. It's part of its sort of its nature. So it's like if she goes to do a hex on somebody or some kind of a curse, like if the neighbor pisses her off and she's gonna, I don't know, do some kind of like spell. And I do feel like this is a female energy too. And I think I've been saying she the entire time because I just feel like this is a female who's doing this. It's like she's gonna set some kind of something on this person. I don't know. Maybe set the intention that their property gets vandalized or their vehicle gets vandalized, and she wakes up in the morning, that person's vehicle is going to be fine. Hers is going to be like scratched. It'll be keyed. The tires will be slashed. This thing like flips it all around on her. So whatever she's sending out there now towards other people, it's like it's coming all the way back on her. This world card is like it's all coming back. It's all coming back on her. It's like some sort of really messed up karma. It's just like everything they send out like instantly comes back and it slaps them. It doesn't touch anybody else. That's part of what this thing does. It's like I said, I don't think it's gonna like possess her. I don't think it's gonna kill her in her sleep, but I do feel like it's gonna make her life absolutely miserable. And it's gonna bring a huge level of chaos. A huge level of chaos. This Eight of Cups, this thing is gonna follow her for a good long while too. Because I have this distinct impression that she's still not aware of it. She's not aware of its existence in her world yet. Like if there are things that are kind of going sideways or screwy or wrong, like her car keeps stalling out or shit like this, this would be this thing's doing. But she just feels like she's so much in control of the spiritual realm, the spiritual side of things. To her, it wouldn't even occur to her that it's like this is something that she brought into the world, that it's like something that she did. It is something because of like a spiritual side, because she just feels like she's above all of that. She's on top of all of that. It wouldn't occur to her that this is something that could happen. And so it's going to take her a while to realize that this is even a thing. But I feel like this is going to follow her for some time, because not only does she, I don't think she'll even know how this thing even came into being. She doesn't understand what she did. She's going to have no clue how to get rid of it. Because like I said, this person actually does not have any skills. This person does not have psychic skills. They are not some sort of high priestess, grand poobah, or whatever the hell this person calls themselves. I feel like this person has a distinctive name for themselves. I don't know if they tell anybody what it is, but this is part of the persona that this person has actually created in their head. They've created this for themselves. They believe themselves to be almost like this empress, high priestess, kind of like elevated above other people kind of thing spiritually. I do believe this line of cards is actually speaking to someone she's going to target as well. This might be someone she was in a romantic relationship with. No, there's no romantic connection there. To her there is. On this side of things, this King of Cups, I feel nothing. I don't feel this King of Cups is connected to her. This is somebody who like she developed a fantasy for. This is somebody who she developed feelings for on her side. She may have tried flirting with this person or sort of making advances. This person shut it down real quick. Very much so. She comes across as, I'm going to say it doesn't sound nice, but she comes across as being a little kooky. It's very off-putting. There's something about her that's extremely off-putting. So I don't feel, again, I feel like she's very much a loner. She doesn't have a lot of friends. She probably doesn't date a whole lot either, because it just sort of, people kind of get a vibe from her where they're like, ooh, I don't really want to hang out with this person. There's like something off. I just keep feeling like off-putting. I actually feel how he feels when he was approached by her and he was kind of like, what the heck? Like, no, thank you kind of thing. I don't know. I don't think he was overly polite about shutting her down either, because he just was just kind of like, no. So I feel like there's probably a more tactful way he could have put it, but it's definitely, for her, it's something she's focusing on. I feel very current in these cards. This is like a current focus. I feel like obsessing in this Nine of Swords. There's a lot of obsessing going on right now. I do feel like she's tried to put a love spell on this person. Like, she has built a fantasy of an abundant harvest that these two have had together. She's not giving up this passion that she feels for this person. This is like her sort of like hidden ambition. She wants to have a Two of Cups with them. Feel like on some level she believes that they are like perfectly suited to have a Two of Cups, even though this person wants nothing to do with her. This is like a hidden secret. She has like this whole fantasy built up in her head. I do feel like she's been trying to work love spells thus far. I still feel no connection. I feel no connection from this King of Cups, like he's reaching out in any way, like these two energies are intertwined in any way. He's just sort of by himself. which tells me he wants nothing to do with any of this. The Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is about self-confidence. She's like success. This is how she wants to feel. She doesn't feel this way. But this is how she wants to feel. She wants to feel wealthy. She wants to feel like she has it all. She wants to feel like somebody loves her and has eyes for only her. She wants those kinds of successes in life and those kinds of connections. But she has no idea how to build that. Like, no idea. And part of it is because she lives in kind of like this fantasy. The Ten of Pentacles. We're going to grab a few more. I want to see where the Ten of Pentacles sits. It's like she's looking to have this wealth. The Four of Pentacles is like, it's like holding back. Holding back. And that King of Swords. I feel too like this King of Swords is tying into the King of Cups here. I feel a coldness here. Very much a coldness. I feel like she wants to have this Ten of Pentacles with them. She wants to have this wealth abundance. She wants to build this legacy with this person. And it's like getting shot down. Like getting shot down. Someone being extremely cold to her. The Knight of Wands tends to be someone who's extremely impulsive. I feel like she is very impulsive. I feel like people turning her away or being cold to her, it's a trigger. It's a huge trigger. It's something that's going to send her back into all of this stuff that she's doing, all of this spiritual stuff that she's dabbling with. This might have actually been, and that would make sense why it's coming forward, that this was actually the catalyst that brought this thing in. This was the thing that set her off, that she tried this spell or whatever the fuck this was, that she hadn't tried before and actually let something in without realizing it, because she manifested that thing. She manifested that thing, and now she has nothing but burdens. And it's going to get more and more and more, because that's what this thing does. Like I said, it's old. It's old, whatever this is. I almost get like a pagan kind of vibe from it. And like it got locked away for a good long while. This particular one got locked away for a good long while because it was recognized for what it was. And they were able to sort of, the religious figures at the time sort of swooped in and took care of it and locked it down, put it in lockdown. I do feel it's loose now. It's on the loose. She brought it out, and it is going to rain all kinds of chaos into her life. Now, Page of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, like learning, getting educated. If she wants to put this thing back, she's going to have to get educated. She's going to have to figure out sort of what it is. She didn't do that. That was part of the problem, is that she never actually delved into whatever the hell it is she's trying to dabble with. And I feel like it's some sort of mix of a bunch of different crap, and most of it is just made up in her head. And it's like not really understanding what she's messing with. And it's like if she would have got educated about what it would have prevented this whole situation. It was because she had no idea what she was doing. She didn't even realize she was opening up a doorway for this thing to come forward. And it's like throwing the entire works off of balance. It's like everything she tries to do, she's going to get the opposite. Every time she sends something out to try and gain something better, to try and bring abundance into her life, to try and bring happiness to her, and like misery to others, it just like winds up, she's getting the misery. Everything goes backwards. I even feel like when she tries to bring something positive to herself, that's going to go to someone else too. This thing just flips everything around. This thing is all about like opposites. It's like the worst genie you've ever come across. Is this thing is just going to like screw around with her for a good long while. Like I said, it's because she doesn't even, at this point, I see in the cards, she doesn't recognize that it exists. She doesn't recognize that this thing is floating around, because it's not like some big dark shadow in the room, or shaking the walls, or whispering things in her ear. It's not like this big crazy thing. It just sort of stays quiet, and it like watches and observes, and then it just messes with shit. It just messes with shit. It turns things on its head. It plays tricks. It plays games to this thing. It's absolutely tons of fun. It's tons of fun to mess with this person's life. Nine of Wands. It's like, See, and I feel like the cards keep coming in backwards and keep coming in jumbled too. I'm gonna have to cleanse everything after I do that. I don't dip into these kinds of things because I don't want them around me. I don't like being a part of them. It does make it difficult to read to the cards too. It's like she wants to build with someone. This Four of Wands is about, setting down a solid foundation, building for the future. This thing is, I just feel like this thing is going to mess with her for a good long time. Like anytime she tries to establish something, it's going to undermine that. Anytime she tries to build any kind of like pentacles, king, queen, pentacles kind of feeling, like finding success, building 10 of cups, building 9 of pentacles, anything like that is going to undermine that. It's like it flips it. It flips it on its head. I just keep getting like backwards, opposite, just spinning everything around. And the Star card represents clarity. We have clarity, we have a new perspective, we have Eight of Swords trapped in this mind trap. This thing is just going to screw with her till she feels like she's kind of like losing her mind, because I feel like she is going to start noticing that everything is backwards or everything is opposite. I feel like at some point then she's going to try and like adjust what she's doing, thinking, oh, okay, if I just say it like this, then it's going to fix that. And then that's going to get screwed up too. Like, it's just, this is what this thing does. She can't outsmart this thing because this thing is fucking ancient. And it's been this way for a while. It knows how to screw with people. That's what it does. That's what it does for fun. That's just how it is in the world. That's this thing's nature. The Death card, transition. Transition, closing the door on one chapter, beginning a new one. This is like trying to close the door on this freaking thing. Trying to close the door on this thing. The only way that she's going to find any kind of peace, any kind of abundance, it is definitely by closing the door on this thing and putting this thing away. But that's going to require a lot of research. I do feel like she's going to need help. As long as she sort of stays by herself, trying to fight this thing by herself, this thing will stay attached to her. I see in this Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, this thing feels like it can have a fruitful partnership with her, because she sort of feeds into, with her little spell work, her curses, her hexes, whatever she calls them. And it's like every time she does this, it gives this thing sort of like a chance to play. To this thing, she's tons of fun. She's tons of fun. This is a fruitful partnership. This thing doesn't want to go away. This thing wants to stay with her until she gets a bit of a sniff as to what the hell is going on. She can't change that. Like I said, journey over time. This is going to be carrying on for a while, and this is of her making. It's sort of like she's tangled herself up in this crazy ass web of what she's been trying to do. And like the more she dives into it and tries to fix it herself with the way that she keeps going, it's like the more she's going to get tangled, the worse it's going to get. It's going to be like this big snowball effect. This is what I see in these cards. And I keep seeing that, like, the messages coming out backwards, even in these bloody cards too. We're going to grab a tarot token. Let's see, we'll flip it over. We do have Lovers. I'm playing the opposite game with this one because this seems to be how all my cards are coming out doing this read. It's like a sense of being alone. This thing is going to isolate her even further. I feel like she's already somebody who's a loner. This is going to make it even worse. This is going to make her sort of turn into herself even more and reject other people even more. Like I said, and as that happens, this thing gains more and more of a foothold, enjoys itself more and more. Like I said, this is years. I see like this will carry on for 4 years, this thing running around, because they said she has no idea. Her idea is that she can control whatever until that delusion stops and she recognizes that she needs to ask for help and open up for help and be honest with whoever she goes to for help, like spiritual help. This is not going to change, and I do believe that what I see in the cards, that is going to take a good long while before it happens, before she's willing to admit that to herself. Holy cow, guys. Alrighty, so I'm going to go cleanse my cards now. If you enjoyed the read, if it resonated, please feel free to comment and give a thumbs up or subscribe.